So I think we can all agree that after the first preseason game for the Green Bay Packers, they looked incredibly stagnant offensively. Defensively, they gave up a ton up the middle, lack of putting pressure on the quarterback, something that we saw even from their defense last year. So, how do the Packers rectify that? How do they move forward in the right direction? Well, what better time than the present? And the Packers having a joint practice against the Indianapolis Colts took a major step forward in the right direction. What are we talking about? Well, yes, we're just talking about joint practices and we're just talking about preseason, but the Green Bay Packers, how you practice is how you're going to play. Okay. So their defensive line yesterday was able to generate a ton of pressure on the Colts quarterbacks during that workout. They piled up a total of 5 sacks, which created pressure defensively and creating turnovers in the secondary, including 3 interceptions. That is huge. And one of the main contributors to that is a guy that I think is going to have an absolute breakout season for this Green Bay Packer defense, which is only going to help Jeff Hafley and the defensive schemes and how he plans for these games and dual threat quarterbacks, all of the above. Okay, so we're talking about Lukas Van Ness. Okay, so Lukas Van Ness is everybody's waiting for, okay, this dude's going to be taking that step at some point in time, or is this just a complete bust of a pick by Brian Gutekunst? I don't think so. I don't think that Lukas Van Ness is a bust of a pick. He's had a phenomenal summer so far, and Packer fans know not to buy put a ton of stock into what they see in the summer or preseason and all of that stuff, because how you perform out on the football field during the regular season and in the playoffs certainly speaks volumes, and you have to stay healthy and stay out there. But Van Ness has been coming up with lots of sacks in practice and training camp and in their joint practices. So is he able to translate that onto their preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts? Time's going to tell, but the defensive line coach has made some dramatic changes to improve the front seven. I'm super pumped and excited about it. So when we start talking about Lukas Van Ness and everything that this dude brings to the football field, this is a guy that, again, lacked experience collegiately. But you're talking about a guy that was drafted 13th overall in the first round in the 2023 draft. He scored a 9.39 out of a possible 10. That ranked 101 out of over 1,600 defensive ends since 1987. Okay, so 9.39. We know that this dude has great size. He's got elite speed. And that's what I'm super pumped about, because he fits Jeff Hafley's system and schemes so well that you can't help to get pumped up and excited about it. In fact, you can just see the quickness right there, just going against Rasheed Walker in practice. But look at the move, the inside move and the quick outside. That is something that is going to come and develop over time. And this is the year, this is the time, this is the now for Lukas Van Ness to take that major step forward. And the Packers could be sitting on a bit of a gold mine here when it comes to Lukas Van Ness. Now they've had to wait for him to develop the skill set that he lacked with the experience coming out of college. But overall, okay, so you take a look at his overview coming into the NFL. His nickname was Hercules by his teammates. Okay, so Lukas Van Ness is a well-developed defensive end with excellent lean mass and additional growth still to come. Okay, so additional growth still to come, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing he's developing bigger size. He's already quick. It says he's a power centric prospect with force. Okay, that's what you've seen out of this dude. He's got some force. He's got some quickness, and you couple that alongside Rashawn Gary and the Packers defense, and I think you got Sorrell, all those guys there. That I think this Green Bay Packer defense, you're going to see what was a very lackluster pass rush from the Green Bay Packers last year and putting pressure on the quarterbacks. I think you're going to see that flop. I think you're going to see a night and day difference from this defense. And I think it starts with Lukas Van Ness, and then Rashawn Gary is only going to benefit from that, from the success of an opposite DN, somebody that can draw a double team at times to free up Rashawn Gary. So I'm super pumped up. I think Lukas Van Ness is that guy for the Green Bay Packers this year that's going to take that massive leap forward and only going to help Jeff Halfley and this Packer defense. Leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts there. I'm super pumped about it. And as always, go Pack Go.